Welcome back. 5:46. We're on the final furlong. I'm Martin Daubney on GB News. Now, could deep fakes play a crucial role in the next general election? Well, Rishi Sunak and Sir Keir Starmer have already been victims of deep fakes, but what are they and how dangerous could they be? Well, joining me now in the studio is the broadcaster and lawyer Andrew Eborn, and I'm rejoined by GB News' senior political commentator Nigel Nelson to find out how big a deal this could be. Andrew, let's start with you. So, in a nutshell, what are deep fakes and why should we be concerned? And who's been probed?
Oh, I'll tell you what, everybody should be terrified about deep fakes, because basically I can make you do, say, dance, whatever I want you to do, all as a result of artificial intelligence. And what's happening is that 2 billion people are going to the polls this year, and at the same time, AI is going to have the biggest influence on elections ever. And you might remember we had good old Rishi. He was pulling a pint, and they did that fake pint. They made it look as though he wasn't pulling it properly. I put up a couple of images there. Yeah. The one on the left, it makes it look really dodgy. You look at the girl's eyes, and she's sort of saying, well, hang about, what on earth are you doing?
So the one on the left is the fake.
The one on the left is the fake.
Because it makes him like an incompetent pint puller, which of course would decimate his votes. It would in my eyes anyway.
And the one on the right is the original. So all of these things, I always say, question everything. It's a diseased information age, and you have to work on that sort of basis, especially AI will influence basically what's going to happen.
And it's been rolled out in other countries too.
Absolutely.
Tell us about some others.
So Slovakia, basically the elections there might have been the first swung by deepfakes. A pro-Kremlin populist won in power there. And what happened days before the election, a video emerged, an audio as well, with him sort of saying how he's going to rig the election. And all the people suddenly say, well, hang on, if he's going to rig the election, we're going to vote against him. So he lost. They had that in different things in Indonesia. They had an avatar of a previous person endorsing one of the candidates. And they have all these audio recordings as well. So fake audios are going all over the place at the moment. And we've had a few in this country as well.
So tell us about a case you mentioned of a politician speaking in a foreign language, obviously designed to try and appeal to people of that ethnic persuasion. But it was a fake. Who was it?
So the number of people. So it was basically in India. They had that with the different elections there. And the member of the party was turning around and he spoke in all the different dialects. And people were incredibly impressed that he could do that because he could appeal to that. But also in New York, the mayor there was basically phoning lots of people up, and he was speaking Mandarin, he was speaking French, and all the different peoples, whatever language they wanted on that sort of basis. And he openly admitted, well, of course I'm using this. I'm trying to appeal to the people, so I'm using technology to do that.
Well, it sounds like a very 21st century persuasive way to get votes. And I believe, Andrew, you've actually made yourself into several multilingual political genii. Why don't we start with you, Andrew, as an Englishman, which of course you are.
Hello, I'm Andrew Eborn. We're living in a diseased information age. There's never been a more important time to question everything. So join me, Andrew Eborn, for Andrew Eborn's Fake or Fact.
So that's the genuine Andrew. Now here is the Italian Andrew Eborn.
Salve, sono Andrew Eborn. Viviamo in un'era malata dell'informazione. Non c'è mai stato un momento più importante per mettere in discussione tutto. Unitevi a me, Andrew Eborn, per il programma di Andrew Eborn, Fake or Fact.
I'm going to say, mamma mia, I'm convinced. But that's not all. We're just getting warmed up. Let's look at the Chinese Andrew Eborn.
大家好，我是安德鲁·艾伯恩。我们生活在一个病态的信息时代，现在是质疑一切的最重要时刻。质疑一切的重要时刻。假如我把安德鲁·伊伯恩参加安德鲁·伊伯恩的虚假还是？
Now, on the one hand, we're having a laugh.
Yes.
It's a very fun thing. But Nigel Nelson, I want to bring you in because this will start to be increasingly deployed, both in ways to appeal by pretending to be multilingual, but also in ways to attack. We've already seen attacks on Labour MPs and indeed on Rishi Sunak. Matt Hancock had the worst pint on the planet. Rishi Sunak followed. People do believe these things, don't they? And that could be a problem.
That's the danger. And I think that what we've just seen there is great fun.
Yes.
That's fine. The real problem is what happens when the Russians start doing it. So Russian foreign policy since the Cold War has been to destabilise the West by planting fake news, disinformation. This takes it to a whole new level. What they used to do was so-called auto-generated bikini bots. So it was stolen pictures of scantily clad qualified young women pumping out messages every 10 minutes. Used in 2016 for Donald Trump's election, they kept repeating his tweets, so amplifying everything that happened, but also they can plant conspiracy theories, COVID conspiracy theories as an example. They can divide people by pretending to be on different sides, and so it goes on. This takes it even further and is much more serious because it's much more believable.
And Andrew, has this actually provably affected elections already?
Oh, absolutely. I gave those examples. In Argentina, it worked on that sort of basis. In Slovakia, it's worked on that sort of basis. And what's interesting, I did one take on that just this afternoon, and it's a really brilliant software from Lazar Vukovic and Dmitry Kipkalo. And what they've done, you can basically dub into several languages automatically. So you imagine how powerful that is, and things only can get better and better on that sort of basis. So it will happen. I always say question everything. We're living in a diseased information age where if it's too good to be true, it definitely is.
And Nigel, we've already seen, Chinese interference. TikTok is being talked about today as a way of affecting British politics. As you said, the Russians, so exterior hostile actors could also compromise this sort of technology.
Yeah, that's where it becomes really dangerous. At the moment, if political parties wanted to use it, the answer is they should say so. Some news websites in this country use it, but they actually tell you they're using AI to generate some content. The big danger is if a hostile power wants to use this stuff, we just won't know where it's coming from.
Andrew, should we be concerned, or would it be obvious to spot?
No, it won't be obvious to spot at all, and it's got better and better. The audio fakes, this is why you fool everybody, because we're living, as I say, in an age when fact is stranger than fiction. You get all sorts of videos released, all sorts of scandals coming out. Most of those will be false now, and I guarantee we're going to get far more of these fake videos. Every single day I'm seeing more and more of them.
Superb. Thank you very much, Andrew Eborn and Nigel Nelson. The concept of deep fakes, how concerned should we be?
A brighter outlook with Box Solar, sponsors of weather on GB News.